So Tom, Ray and Michael, this was something of a reunion for you guys, I believe, because you'd previously worked on the film Last Orders together.
Yes, we did.
So how did you find working together again? Was it a big, happy reunion?
Well, acting is a very difficult business, and acting with people you know and like and who are talented is the easiest thing you can do. It's fabulous. I mean, we couldn't have asked for better. It's very, very difficult to work with bad actors.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
but we managed it. We managed it.
it's fine. But Ray, admitted, Ray.
Well, I wasn't going to bring anything up.
You're just
personal,
jealous because your wife likes me.
Yeah. No, but it was great to do.
Yeah.
It's so easy. If it's other actors make it difficult. They can make it difficult, But I don't allow a lot of that.
Fair enough.
I say I'll be in my dressing room having a sleep for 3 or 4 hours until we get over this.
So he spent a lot of the time in his dressing room being asleep while we
Well, it's where you get a good
tantrums.
tip. If someone's having a tantrum, I go to sleep.
Do you get much of that, Michael?
Hardly any.
Yeah.
Actually,
I should have think
can't
they'd be
remember.
like that around you.
Only Tom does it. Other people I've worked with haven't.
That's his feminine side when it comes out.
Yeah.
I was wondering as well about, the heist movie genre in general. Michael, it's something you've worked on, for years, The Italian Job and beyond. Ray, I think you've done some, heist movies yourself.
Yeah.
What is it about that genre that you guys have been drawn to again and again?
It's a comedy side of it that draws me. The Italian Job. I can't remember ever doing a serious, proper heist. The Italian Job was funny because it was a load of guys who didn't know what the bloody hell they were getting up to. This one is a load of old blokes who didn't know what the hell they were. And so what I like is the human side of it. The human side. It's not about the robbery and how clever they were opening the safe or something like that and how much they got. It's the human side of the people who were doing it. And like something like The Italian Job and this is very similar.
Another sort of, I suppose you could call it a heist movie that we're going to see next year is a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, a female-led remake.
It's done with women, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of that, seeing your movie
Oh, I think
now
that's
come?
great. I'll be the first one to go and see it. I love it. I had another film remade by women. I forget what it was. It doesn't matter. But I think it's a great idea. I can't wait to see it. Who's in it? Do you know?
So it's Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson.
Oh, I
And it's
know
called
Anne
The Hustle.
Hathaway. I've done a movie with her.
That's right.
Who was the other girl?
Rebel Wilson.
I don't know her.
She's an Australian actress. She does comedy like Pitch Perfect. Those
Oh,
kind of
really?
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Just talking a bit.
I'm a big feminist. You see. I am a feminist.
I was wondering a bit about your character in this movie, King of Thieves, as well, Michael, because we're so used to seeing you as the happy-go-lucky character, but in this film we see kind of a more tragic side. You get more teary,
Yeah.
and for me it reminded me of your performance as Alfred in The Dark Knight Rises as well, in that there's kind of a more vulnerable side to these very strong characters. How is it for you as an actor getting into that kind of more emotional, that more vulnerable side?
Well, it's fabulous because the deeper you get, the more you find. It's like being a deep sea diver, The jewel, the great stuff is right at the bottom. And that's where I go, looking right down to inside the character to find the jewels or the golden goldfish.
Returning to the topic of King of Thieves, I was wondering for each of you, what was your favourite memory from working on the set? Some behind-the-scenes details.
Oh, blimey, there was
Well,
so
I had a scene when I'm asleep throughout after the robbery.
That's right, yeah.
And it was great.
But I got a close-up because everybody, even though I was asleep, and he was trying to make me laugh while I was asleep by stealing my breakfast, and he succeeded.
Yeah.
Well, it was an all-male cast, but I had a wife, and I had a scene with my wife in a restaurant. So I enjoyed that, working with the lady all that time.
Francesca.
Francesca Annis, and she was lovely, and I really enjoyed working with the lady after working with all this lot for It was forever blokes.
Yeah.
But I got to go.
How about yourself, Ray?
Because I knew all the other guys except for little Charlie Cox and Michael Gambon, funny enough. all over the years, friends of mine have worked with Michael Gambon, and I've never had the pleasure. And I remember just sitting around the table in your house when we were counting up the loot, and just, I didn't have a lot to do. You know, it was all the old boys all doing their bits, and I just had my eyes on Michael Gambon, watching him in his messy hair and just sitting there and playing about and farting and burping and all that. And then, you know, it was a pleasure actually to work with him. I'm glad I can say over the years I've worked with him as much as I worked with these guys. And
Yeah, I've worked with
Bob
Michael
Hoskins
before.
and all that.
Yeah.
First time I met Michael Gambon, so
Yeah, but we go
I'm really pleased.
millions
I
of
met him.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Well,
go
I
back
know,
years
millions
with
and
Michael.
millions
yeah,
of years.
The Norman conquests.
yeah,
Yeah.
Acheburn.
The three of you guys just have such a great like natural rapport together. Do you guys like hang out together kind of, you know, offset and not working as well?
I know. I think
No, but geographically, you know, geographically, I mean, the minute he gets the time, Bob, he's in Sicily. Yeah, we occasionally have dinner together, but we live, you know, and
Yeah.
we're all off doing stuff all over. And if you think about
Families and all
yeah,
that.
international stardom people, you know, you work with people in Hollywood. You're not going to fly to Hollywood for dinner, you know. So you work with these people who you love, and you never see for
never see
20
them.
years,
No.
or never again.
No.
Yeah, treatment. You know, I spend a lot.
I haven't
takes up
known
a lot
it.
of time,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
If you're in town, what happens is you go into a place, say you're in Vancouver, and you get there. Now, I've got a really great mate, and I probably hadn't seen him for 5 years. But he's working, he's away working, you know. And you get into Vancouver and you get a phone call, I'm working here. Blinding. Then he's got all his family there, my family come over and we all get together. That's Bobby Carlyle, and, you know.
Oh,
it's-
that's what. Yeah, you sent
and
me a
you get...
text.
You get that moment in time, and then I don't know, I probably won't see it for another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But we're still great. It's a funny thing about our business. It's not like just being on the outside where your mate you see every week, you know. Here, you might not see someone for 5 years, but you understand that about one another.
You're still the big friend as you were.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen it. I mean, some people I haven't seen for 20 years, you know, and I suddenly see them, and it's like we met yesterday and we start a conversation.
So my very final question for you guys, we always love to ask this one just for fun, but can each of you give me one of your favourite movies, just one you'd recommend that's unmissable?
What, a new one or anyone?
Just any from, like, you know, that you love, that you've rewatched over the years.
This year was Lean on Pete.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Which,
I've heard
with
of that one, yeah.
Andrew Haigh, because I did a film of his called 45 Years, and I couldn't believe that the same director did both films.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to see that one.
Casablanca would be my one. I love some of the lines in it. It was during the war, and Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman had a romance, and at the end of the movie, he says to her, "Do you remember Paris?" Which is where they'd been lovers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yes, the Germans wore grey." And he says, "The Germans wore grey and you wore blue." That's how I remember
Yeah.
Paris.
And how about yourself, Ray?
I don't know. I'm going to go arty just for Tom.
Go on
The
then.
Tin Drum.
Oh, okay,
Wait a minute, I
brilliant.
remember. What
Good
was
choice.
that?
It's a German film.
Yeah, I remember that picture.
Yeah, it kind of changed my whole feeling about cinema in a way, because it was in German. But after 5 minutes of watching it, you knew exactly what it was about. And it was kind of weird, strange, surreal, but it really kind of changed my outlook on films and that, you know.
Well, that's all I have time for, guys. But thank you so much for taking
Well,
the time
thank
to
you.
talk to me.
Thank you.
Pleasure.